Hello and welcome to today's edition of Route 664, The Road to Human Kindness. I'm Les Winston and I'm the host. I'm also a national spokesperson for the Endow America Network Foundation, which is a national community foundation. We are embarking on a lot of different projects, and some of the projects involve some of the things you see on our screen. So I'd like to just go through those quickly. One of them is on the lower left side of the screen is the connection to our radio station at route664.org. And then our very significant spokesperson, Charity, is pointing to our theory of social charity up on the right-hand side, 664 equals E squared, where we're taking a section of the tax code 664 and trying to make it simple to explain by giving it a formula that 664 equals endowment squared. An endowment squared is two endowments. 664 allows you to create one endowment for yourself, and then a second endowment that you can leave behind when you're no longer receiving your endowment. That's usually when you pass on, or it can be for a term of years. The 664 equals E squared is one of the most powerful formulas. We believe it's the formula of love, and it means love for yourself first and then love for your community. Because at the end of the day, what you're going to leave behind is going to be used to support nonprofit organizations or NGOs or charities, however you want to call them. Those are the 501c3 organizations that you would like to support, that you feel are doing what they're supposed to be doing in the community, and therefore you want to provide them with some revenue. You want to provide them with some help. And you can do that by leaving your endowment after you've spent it, after you've been able to get income from it, from your life, and you want to leave that behind to the community. Really a wonderful way to leave a legacy. And that's all being done through the Endow America Network Foundation. One of our most successful allies are the most successful allies that we have are community foundations in various parts of the country. And joining me today is David Rosell. David is founder. Are you the founder of that particular community foundation, David?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And I did get some of the paperwork that you sent. It's the James A. Lee Community Gift Fund. Is that the name of the foundation? Is that the name of the community foundation, or is that the name of one of your gift funds?
It's the name of our donor advised fund. And there's a pretty fun story behind that I'd be happy to share with you today as well.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So there's a gentleman in our beautiful small town of Bend, Oregon, who has donated so much of his life to the community. And he's been executive directors of a number of nonprofits, most recently one called Ability, which is helping people with disabilities get into the workforce. And Jim is what I would consider a quiet giant. He's just given so much heart and soul, his time, energy, and even his investments of money into the community, and has never done this to be recognized. And over the last 15 years or so, Jim has not only become one of my closest friends, he is also a client of my financial firm. And so a number of years ago, we were looking at ways that we can give back to the community. We used to donate a lot of our time on boards and being proactive. And we just found out that we didn't have the time after 15, 20 years of doing that. And so we came up with a donor advised fund. And I think we'll have an opportunity to talk about how they can benefit a lot of companies and a lot of people. And we set it up in a way where we named it after him, James A. Lee Community Gift Fund. We had a beautiful logo donated by a graphic design studio for it, and set this up where we're giving 10% of our company profits each year into the donor advised fund, or DAF for short. And then interestingly, we came up after a lot of brainstorming where it goes into this fund. And then our clients can apply for grants through this fund for nonprofits that are near and dear to their heart. And then our board decides which ones we're choosing that year, how much we're giving, and so on. And it's just been a beautiful win-win-win.
So, and that's the creativity that's involved in some of the philanthropy that I've been interviewing, the philanthropists that I've been interviewing, people who discuss their philanthropy. They get they get really charged about having created something from love. I think that's where this comes from. This is really about love of humanity, and the person that did this, obviously, for human kindness. He's part of human kindness. How did you get to that point with him? How did you find that out?
Well, anyone that ever has an opportunity to meet Jim Lee in Bend, Oregon, will realize he's one of the most wise, mindful humans that has roamed the planet, and he always puts everyone else first. When I shared with him our idea for the fund and what we wanted to name it, tears immediately came to his eyes for a number of reasons. One is he says, James A. Lee is my dad, because he was named after his dad, and his eyes just started to swell because he saw his dad in there. And then when he realized that the focus of this is naming this in his honor, and we shared with him the logo that was created, it was just a very heartwarming time for us.
And people in the community can become part of that as well. They don't have to be a major giver. How does it work?
Yeah, so let's talk about how a donor advised fund works. It's basically a charitable investment account for the purpose of supporting charitable organizations that are near and dear to your heart. And there's a reason why donor advised funds have become the fastest growing charitable giving vehicle in the United States. And that is because it's one of the easiest and most tax advantage ways to give to charity. And so when you contribute cash securities or other assets to a DAF, you're eligible to take an immediate tax donation. So we're giving cash donations from our company. And if you donate cash, you're generally eligible for an immediate tax deduction of up to 60% of your AGI, or adjusted gross income. Mm-hmm. But you and I talked on your show before about the benefits of giving and donating long-term appreciated securities, and you can give them directly to the charity. And instead of liquidating the asset and donating the proceeds, you can help maximize both your tax benefit and the overall amount going to the charity, in benefit in two ways, because they become eligible also for an immediate tax deduction on the fair market value of the asset up to 30% of your AGI, but you eliminate the capital gains on the long-term appreciated assets. And the longer you hold them, as long as it's for more than a year, you could be a significant benefit, as you know, Les.
So, that was interesting. It was a very interesting discovery that I made when I was watching The Young Philadelphians. Don't know if you ever have seen that movie, but it was with Paul Newman playing the part of a young attorney in Philadelphia, and in competition with what we call the white shoes, the bigger firms. And he has a lady come to his office who wants to leave everything to her dog. And it's nice the way they set it up. But in the conversation that he has with her, she drops the fact that she always gives money to the ASPCA for to make sure that her dog will be taken care of. And he says, "Well, how do you do that?" And she says, "Well, I usually give them a check for $5,000." And he says, "So you pay them in cash?" And she says, "Yes." And he says, "Oh." And she says, "Well, why are you asking that?" And she says, "No, come, tell me what the story is." And he says to her, "Well, I'm sure you own some stock. Maybe you own stock that's appreciated in General Electric or whatever." And she says, "Yes, I do." And she says, "Well, you could give the stock instead of giving the cash." "Well, why didn't anybody else tell me that?" And you get that kind of reaction. People we're not taught this anywhere. And that's the biggest problem we have with 664. Nobody's ever taught anybody about 664 in that section of the tax code. They spend a lot of time teaching people about 401k and 529. But we're all about teaching about 664 so that 664 can be used in that kind of a situation where you have someone who wants to give stock, but they don't want to give away the income from the stock. And so they can make the donor advised fund the ultimate beneficiary of the charitable gift, but in the interim, they can also get the tax deduction for making the gift and also get tax income. They could get income, but it won't be tax free. It can be tax free, but in most instances, it's going to be taxed according to the tiers of the tax levels that they're at. But the point is that it's a very smart planning device, and the donor advised fund, the funds have grown, I mean, enormously. I think Fidelity is probably the largest nonprofit in the country today. Fidelity Gift Fund,
Yeah.
one of them. How do you get this across to my people, the person that's you out there that's listening right now? You need to know that this happens. How do you get that information?
Yeah, well, so we've set up this community gift fund, which is a great way to give back for our community, and we're giving, a percentage of our profits away. And the interesting thing, Les, is that as soon as you make the donation, which is irrevocable to the donor advised fund, it grows. It continues to grow inside the DAF, completely tax free, but you can distribute those funds at any time. So in our case, they come in, we donate it to the DAF, and then we distribute it to the charities that are near and dear that year to our clients. But we also educate our clients, where philanthropy is real important, on the ease and the benefits of a donor advised fund. And I would say most of our clients are donating a portion of their proceeds each year into their own DAF, and they're letting it grow tax free, and then deciding as a family when and where they would like to distribute those funds to any 501c3 over time.
Mm-hmm. So the immediacy of the gift is important. Just so, I mean, 664s also have immediate, the donors to a 664 trust can elect to make contributions to charity while they're taking income, and they get an additional tax deduction if they were to do that. In your case, they get 100% tax deduction with donor advised fund only. And with 664, they get a tax deduction that's reduced because there is a promise of income coming back. So when we're talking to a lot of advisors here in the local community, they are more familiar with donor advised funds. They have really become familiar with donor advised funds from the perspective of what they can tell their investors or their clients.
Yeah.
But they're not that familiar with the rest of it, and we want to make that point. It's very important for growth in the charitable sector to occur, and that's really why Congress did this. Congress has done some things that are very good. They've done a lot of things that are very good, and that would knock Congress. I don't want to get political, but the point is that Congress has at times done things that are very wise. And one of the things that they did in creating and allowing these things to occur as well, because donor advised funds are fairly new. The only thing is, are people required to make distributions from the donor advised funds?
They are not. It can sit in there for generations if you wish. The moment that you contribute to that DAF, you're immediately able to take that tax deduction. And again, you can decide when and how and where you want to distribute those funds over time, as long as it's to an official 501c3 charitable organization.
Do you think that the government is going to start to require the donor advised funds to make those distributions?
It's a good question. A lot of people ask that. I hope they don't. I think that it's, for some people, they like to give right away, which is what we do with our DAF, and other people want to let this grow completely tax-free and then just give away a portion of the earnings every year and almost create an endowment with their DAF.
So the other thing is, of course, there's an end. It ends at the gift to the donor advised fund. That nothing can pass through to their children except the right to manage, or to not to manage, but to advise the fund. They have the right to pass that on.
Yeah, so people will ask what happens to their donor advised fund after the death, the owner's death, and you've worked hard to establish your charitable giving legacy. So you want to make sure you pass it on by nominating an individual, a charity, or a combination of both as a successor to your giving. And nominating a successor is the simplest way to continue your legacy and passing it on so that your fund can continue.
And is it also, it's valuable that when people ask to make that kind of a gift, you do some screening to make sure that the recipient is the correct recipient?
Yeah, so this is a brilliant idea for any listeners out there who are business owners and philanthropy is important to you. So our clients have the ability to submit a grant proposal, and we have some criteria where how we choose. It has to have they share what 501c3 it is with their background and what their purpose is, and what these funds would be used for. So it has a high probability of success, a qualified staff, and a responsible board of directors we're making sure. A method of ensuring financial accountability, how they're going to use the money, and a true need for the funds. And so I'll share a quick story with you, Les. Is 2 years ago was the first year we held our Rosell Wealth Management Giving Gala. And it just coincided in April of 2 years ago when people were coming out of their homes for the first time after the pandemic. And we said attire is cocktail attire. No one knew what that meant, but we're so excited to get out of their sweatpants that everyone dressed to the nines. And we had several hundred people there, centers of influence, our clients, community leaders. And we ended up having 9 gifts that year. And we had each gift being introduced by true leaders in our community, from our mayor to our sheriff to the president of our university to our district attorney. And we were so honored that these incredible people showed up, and they introduced the nonprofit, and then the executive director came up to receive the check. And here we were giving, and it was just an energy of love, as you would say, Les. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. And now we do an annual James A. Lee community gift fund giving at our giving gala, and it's something that we look forward to continuing for a long time.
Well, I'm going to tip my chartered advisor in philanthropy cap to you and say congratulations. Ben in Bend, Oregon, very astute wealth planner, and can obviously help you if you have charitable intent and want to make some interesting new legacies that you want to leave behind in the community and express your love and human kindness. He can help you do that. And we're happy to have you along with us on the road to human kindness, David, and certainly look forward to much success.
Les, a pleasure to be on your show again. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Take care.
You ever just want to tune out the world and relax? Then you've come to the right place. At Route664.org, we've got great music that will keep you entertained for hours and uplifting conversation that will make you feel good about yourself and the world. So come on in and take a load off. We won't judge here. Route664.org.
My guest is Dr. Luis Martinez. He is the medical director of a very interesting organization, Rebuilding Bodies, right?
Yeah, it's basically about looking for ways to restore function, fight aging, and just bring back health and wellness for patients. Not surgical approaches, minimally invasive. We use multiple different treatment approaches: hormone replacement therapy, intravenous nutrition, peptide therapeutics, which xenotherapeutics, analytics, nutraceuticals, and stem cells, platelet-rich plasma, regenerative medicine approaches. So it's multiple things that we're doing to really just stimulate repair processes, help turn back the clock, and just make patients feel better. Overall, I think we're doing a lot of really great advances in longevity medicine. People will live beyond 120. The clinic is called Body Rejuvenation. I mean, I think the name might be a little misleading because it's not only aesthetics. We do a lot of things internally to address cellular aging and really turn back the clock. So it's a combination of things that we do here. We do body contouring too. So we definitely do that aesthetic external approach. But again, we always try to combine it for maximum results.
Body Rejuvenation. You're on US 1, I believe. Is that right?
Federal Highway.
Body Rejuvenation, helping you live a long and healthy life in Hallandale, Florida. BodyRejuvenationMD.com.
There we go. It's about healing and repair. So definitely internal, external. It goes hand in hand.
Make the world a better place if we all just try. We could feed the whole human race if we all just try. And we could end all wars if we all just try. No need to lock your doors if we all just try. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, 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 just a little bit. Let's all celebrate love and never hate, 'cause life would just be great if we all got along. Let's all celebrate love, never hate, 'cause life would just be great if we all got along. Just a little bit. We can make the world a better place if we all just try. All the kids would have a happy face if we all just try. And we could teach the world if we all just try. Every boy and girl if we all just try. Just a little bit, 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 just a little bit. Let's all celebrate love, never hate, 'cause life would just be great if we all got along. Let's all celebrate love, never hate, 'cause life would just be great if we all got
each one teaches one. We all really matter. This is for mankind. Your future and mine. Bless the children of the world. Say we'll love at a time.
Just a little bit, 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 just a little bit.